Hey guys, welcome back to another Tasting Tuesday video. This week we are going to be doing Johnnie Walker Black Label. This is one of the first whiskeys that I really got into back in college. I actually think the price has come down on this since I first picked it up. I want to say it was around $35. It was my senior year of college. As I was finishing assignments and doing finals, I said, I'm going to buy that cool bottle that I've seen on True Detective. They were drinking the blue label on all the episodes in True Detective, and I said, I can't afford the blue label, but I think I can put out $30 for a bottle of Black Label. And now I think this is even cheaper. I think it's like $23, so they definitely dropped the price a lot. This is your classic Scotch. It's blended, so it's not single malt. Difference between single malt and blended. Single malt comes from basically one distillery. So if Johnnie Walker made a malt whiskey and they bottled it, even if it's different barrels with different years, as long as they were all 12 years and from the same distillery, they could call it single malt. Because this is blended Scotch, that means they're buying barrels from different places, and they're putting together what they feel is a really interesting whiskey. So let's get right into it. I mean, there's screw top right off. It's easy to get it open. And this one is aged 12 years, the Black Label. I mean, for under $25, a 12-year-old Scotch, that's very rare. I think it's this and Dewar's is the only other one that will even come close to this in price. So, I mean, it's not going to be like super exciting, but I had a little bit of it the other day when I bought the bottle for the tasting, and I was really surprised. It's really good for what it is. So, I mean, immediately I'm getting a little bit of peat smoke. So Scotch, a lot of people think of Scotch, they think of, a very smoky whiskey. And there definitely can be Scotches that are smoky. If you get them from the islands of Islay, that region tends to be more smoky than other regions. So like Talisker, Laphroaig, Ardbeg, Lagavulin 16, like those whiskeys are very smoky. So this is just like a touch of smoke, which actually the more you drink Scotch, the more you realize that something like a blended whiskey can actually hit all the boxes that you're looking for. It can have the fruit, it can have the spice, it can have the burnt caramel, the nuttiness, and the smoke, because they can blend all that together, where with a single malt, you're really going to kind of be confined to just whatever that distillery is producing. So you're never really going to find a bunch of different things. I mean, I'm getting a little bit of honey. Definitely that smoke, like things like maybe like an apricot a little bit, maybe a peach. But like imagine that peach or apricot has been like grilled, right? So you got that like smoky cooked fruit. Getting a touch of like the ethanol there, that's not super pleasant, but it also could be the smoke. It's very light. I mean, not a ton to it. I think there could be some coloring in this to make it darker. It is 12 years, which is impressive for the price, but 12 is not super old. Let's take a little taste. Wow. Immediately just the malt. So Scotch is usually made from malt. I don't know if they're allowed to use other things. I know it's a malt whiskey is Scotch. You can definitely taste that malt, and then immediately I'm getting like a spice or a cinnamon, an allspice, and then that smoke. You get hit with the peat, but like not like overly powerful, just like a light, kind of charred barbecue smoke. There is some fruit in there, some honey and some stone fruit. it's very drinkable. I mean, this is coming in at 40% alcohol. So at 40%, that's the lowest it can be called whiskey in the United States. So they're probably not aging this whiskey at 40%. They're probably aging it at 60, 50s or 60%, and then they're watering it down to bottle it. So definitely drinkable at the 40%. I know last week we reviewed 2 wild turkeys, and they were like 43 and 50%, and those were very good and very flavorful, but probably got to put them over ice just because of the high alcohol content. This one at 40%, this is very drinkable. It's easy to sip. It's good. It's a solid whiskey. Nothing super special about it. You know, it's got the screw top. Screw it on and off. I think best way to have this would probably be either over ice, or you could throw some soda water in and make a scotch and soda. I think that's a good way to probably enjoy this. I think if you wanted to sip it neat, the low proof, it's definitely easy to sip, but I would probably, sip on it while you're, watching a movie or doing something, talking, because it's not really something that you're going to sit with, and every sip is going to evolve and change. It's very one-dimensional. A little bit of honey, a little bit of that apricot, peach, stone fruit, some smoke, and every sip, I took 3 sips there, I got the same thing. So not super complex, but I think it's just, there's a lot of nostalgia with this bottle because, again, it was like my first big whiskey purchase when I was in college, and it's still good. And I opened it the other night, and I was like, let me see if I like it. And I think I had about 3 of them. So it holds up. I mean, it's good to just kind of sip on after you've had some other stuff, or if you're busy doing something or watching something, it can just kind of be in the background. Again, I think scotch and soda is probably the best way to do this because the peat and the fruits are going to, really come out when you add the soda water. And so it's not going to blend into the background. It's really going to still have a punch through the soda water. And that's what you want when you get a scotch and soda. So thank you guys for joining, and we'll see you next week on another Tasting Tuesday.